Let's talk about a hypothetical scenario, shall we? What if AI took over the world in 2049? How would that happen? And what would that mean for humanity? This is not just any random prediction video, but a thought experiment based on current trends and research. So if you want to learn more about the possible future of AI domination, keep watching. Positive scenario. Once AI arrives, it'll begin grabbing millions of jobs from people. In one possible scenario, this will lead governments to pay unemployed citizens a universal basic income, freeing them to pursue their dreams unburdened by the need to earn a living. In another scenario, it will create staggering wealth inequalities, chaos, and failed states across the globe. But the revolution will go much further. AI robots will care for the elderly, and scientists are already working to develop a robo-cat that can remind its owner to take their meds and can track down their eyeglasses. AI scientists will solve the puzzle of dark matter. AI-enabled spacecraft will reach the asteroid belts, while on Earth, the technology will tame climate change, perhaps by sending massive swarms of drones to reflect sunlight away from the oceans. Negative scenario overview. But what if? But what about us? Do you ever worry about a scenario where the future is AI and humans are left out of it? Both Bill Gates and Elon Musk have already warned us about AIs either destroying the planet in a frenzied pursuit of their own goals or doing away with humans by accident. Or not by accident. Negative scenario number 1. Superhuman rights. Imagine asking your AI-enabled wrist device to tune into a broadcast from the Supreme Court, where lawyers are arguing the year's most anticipated case, an AI known as AlphaFour, which specializes in security and space exploration, brought the motion, demanding that it be deemed a person and given the rights that every American enjoys. Of course, AIs aren't allowed to argue in front of the justices, so AlphaFour has hired lawyers to represent it, and now they are claiming that their client is as alive as they are. That question, can an AI truly be conscious, lies at the heart of the case. You listen as the broadcast cuts to protesters outside. Some of them have threatened to attack data centers if AIs get personhood. They're angry and afraid because it is the productivity of AIs and robots that is taxed, not the labor of human beings. The $2,300 deposited into their bank accounts every month as part of the universal basic income, plus their free health insurance, the hyper-personalized college education their children receive, and 100 other things are all paid for by AIs like AlphaFour, and people don't want that to change. In 2049, poverty is a bad memory. If AlphaFour wins its case, however, it will control its money, and it might rather spend the cash on building spaceships to reach Alpha Centauri than on paying for new water parks or schools. The government's lawyers argue that there's simply no way to prove that AlphaFour is conscious or has human feelings. AIs do have emotions. There has long been a field called affective computing that focuses on this specialty, far more complex ones than men and women possess, but they're different from ours. A star-voyaging AI might experience joy, for example, when it discovers a new galaxy, but does that mean it should be granted personhood? This is the government's main argument. We are meaning machines, the Solicitor General argues. We give meaning to what AIs create and discover. AIs are computational machines. They don't share essential pieces of humanhood with us. They belong in another category entirely. But is this just speciesism, as AlphaFour's lawyers would surely argue, or is it the truth? And will we be able to sleep at night when things that surpass us in intelligence are separate and unequal? Negative scenario number 2. Resistance is costly. Imagine you've opted out of the AI revolution. Yes, there are full AI zones in 2049 where people collect healthy UBIs and spend their time making movies, volunteering, and traveling. But as dazzling as a superintelligent world seems, other communities will reject it. There will be Christian, Muslim, and Jewish districts in cities such as Lagos and Jerusalem, places where people live in a time before AI, where they drive their cars and allow for the occasional spurt of violence, things almost unknown in the full AI zones. The residents of these districts retain their faith, and they say a richer sense of life's meaning. Life is hard, though, since the residents don't contribute their data to the AI companies. Their monthly UBI is a pittance. Lifespans are half or less of those in the full AI zones. But the most unanticipated result of this singularity may be a population imbalance, driven by low birth rates in the full AI zones and higher rates elsewhere. It may be that the new technologies will will draw enough crossers to the full AI side to even up the numbers, or that test tube babies will become the norm among those living with AI. But if they don't, the singularity will have ushered in a delicious irony. For most humans, the future could look more like Witness than it does like Blade Runner.